Hello widget watchers, welcome back to another video. In this video, we are going to design this beautiful login UI, with this splash screen, and then after designing this UI, in the next few videos we will also integrate the Google sign-in, so keep connected with the series, you will going to learn a lot of new things. So here I have this default project is opened, and from here. First, let's remove all these comments, and then remove this my homepage class from here. Now let's create a new folder in the lib directory, and name this folder as screens. Then inside the screen directory, create a new Dart file as splash screen. Then here create a stateful widget as splash screen. Then import the material package. Then, afterwards from here remove this container, and then here at the scaffold widget, and for the body part add the center widget, then here for the child property, add a container, then add the child widget as image.asset. And here I have added my image asset inside assets folder. After that don't forget to add the assets folder in your pubspec.yaml file. Now for this project I'm going to use this widget wisdom logo. You can use whatever you want. Then after that here inside image.asset widget, add the path of your image. Then let's add some decoration because, right now this image has a square shape, but we want to make this image in circular shape. So here first let's add the decoration, then add box decoration. And one more thing, also add the scaffold's background color as colors.black. Now also add this screen inside main.dart file. After adding the splash screen let's also import it. So yeah, right now we have this kind of UI. Now let's make this same image as circular, so let's first give it height as 100 and width of 100. Then save the code. Yeah, it's looking cool now. Now let's make it circular, so here first add the white background color for this container, because our image's background is white. Then add the border radius parameter, and give it the border radius of, let's say 100. Then again, save the code, and here also add the padding, and give it padding somewhere around 30, now this is looking fine. Now let's increase the height and width to 150, it's still looking small. Let's make it 200, it's looking fine, now so add the const here, so that our warning will get removed. And yeah, this was it for designing this splash screen, and it's looking quite beautiful to me. Now this was it for the designing part of splash screen. Now let's here create a method as redirect to login screen, and then here we are going to make use of timer, because we are going to redirect to the login screen after 3 seconds. So here we want delay of 3 seconds, so we are going to use timer here. Okay, so let's add timer, then inside it we need to pass the duration, like for how many time we need the delay. So here I want duration to be in second, so I have added second then 3. And also import the timer. Then here we need to pass the function like what need to be happen after this duration. So here just write the routing logic, so here add navigator.of_context, then push replacement because we are going to replace this page, then pass the material page route, and then pass the builder. We need to add context for builder, so pass the context. Then we need to call our login screen. So also let's create the login screen inside this screen directory, and here create a stateful widget as login screen, and then import the material package, and then come into the splash screen and here import the login screen. So this was it for the splash screen part, and also add the constant where it is required. Then here create init state, and inside this init state, call this redirect method so that whenever init state is going to be called, then after 3 seconds, we want our app's login screen should appear. So now let's save the code and run the app, and you can see after 3 seconds we are going to see our login screen. As of now we don't have anything into our login screen, so it is looking pretty much blank. And don't worry, we will add UI code in the login screen. So let's start adding UI in the login screen. So come into this login screen. So now come into the login screen, and from here remove this container, and here add a scaffold widget, and then set the scaffold's background color to black. Then come here and add the body parameter, and for body, let's make use of column, then add the children, and after this first let's add the container in our column. And then add the width to double-infinity, so that it will cover all the available width of the screen, and for the height part, let's use the media query, and here we will use the 60% of the current available height. Okay, now let's add the decoration parameter, and here add box decoration, and then let's give the white color to our container. Now let's give the border radius to our container, so here we only need to give border radius at the top right corner, so after border radius here, add only, then add the top right, then give it the radius of 25, and then add const here. Let's save the code, so here above this container add one more empty container, and then add the main axis alignment as space between. So yeah, you can see we have one side rounded corner box is there. Okay, now let's increase the height bit more because a lot of thing going to be in this container, so here increase the size of it. Then come up above here and here add our app's logo. So I have copied the code from splash screen, and I have pasted that here, and let's make height and width to 150. And here add the margin from the top, so for the margin let's make use of media query, and also one more thing, you make sure that you take the other size property using the media query, so that on whatever screen your app will work fine. Make the border radius 75, it will look much good. Then here add the child property, and again here add the column. Inside this, let's add a text widget, and then inside this add the string message as, welcome back, and here add the text style, and then inside add the color, font size, and font weight. And then before this text widget, add sized box and give it the height of 50, so that we have some space above this text widget. Then here add a text again, and inside it, add the description like login to access the dashboard. Here make text bit smaller and font color to gray, and then font weight. Now save the code, see it's looking much beautiful. Now come up above here and create two controllers, for the text form field, as username controller and then password controller. After that here add the sized box and then create a text form field, and then add the decoration parameter for the text form field, so first add the label as name. Then add the hint text, add the string as enter your username. Then we need to give the enable border, so here make use of outline input order, and then add the border side for border side. We want that our border should look in black color, so I have added the black color. Then we need to give the border radius, so I have given the border radius as 15, then we need to give the focus border color. We use focus border color because this parameter is used for define the border behavior, that what's the color should be when we tap onto this text form field. So let's make outline input border color as gray, and make focus border as black, and also add the width of 2, so that it will get more highlight. Now save the code, so we can see our text form field is covering the whole available width, so let's add some padding. So for adding the padding, make use of container and inside it add the padding, and give it the horizontal padding. So yeah, it's looking fine. Then add the controller for this text form field. Now copy this text form field thing and do the same for the password text form field, just rename the label, hint text and controller. Now save the code, and here between these two text form fields add the sized box so that it will get differentiated. Now you can see that when I'm tapping onto this text form field, keyboard is appearing but this UI is breaking. So for fixing that, come into the scaffold, and here make resize to avoid bottom insect to false, so that now it won't get break. And if you don't want this solution, then there is one more solution for this, but I'll suggest don't use this solution. But for this video purpose, I'll show you the solution. So now wrap your whole UI into the single child scroll view, and then make this resize property for true. Then if you tap onto this button, then you can see your UI is not breaking and it is scrolling so smoothly. But here is the catch: if you use the scroll view, then your UI element will not be aligned properly. So for making it align properly, here is the sized box between your image and this container, and let's give it some height so that it will cover all the height. I know this is not a good approach, but I'm just telling you what else you can do if you don't want to use that resize thing. Now add the sized box, and now let's create the elevated button for the login. So here add the style for elevated button, and then here add the background color as black. And it's looking too small, so we need to give it size, so add the minimum size and give it the minimum width of 250 and height of 50 would be fine. And save the code. It's looking fine now. So now let's add the sized box of height 30 and then duplicate this sized box, then let's add a row widget here, then for children add a divider of height 1, and make its color as gray, and then duplicate this divider. Now between these two divider, let's add a text widget, because here we want to give a sign up option using Google Sign In, or let's say Facebook Sign In, so here I want that the separation should be there. So here the divider is not visible, so let's do one thing: wrap this divider into a sized box, and here give it a width of 200 so that it will look fine. Now do the same for the second divider, and now it's looking perfect. And now also increase the height of these divider, make its height to 2, and then make the divider color to black, and do the same for the other divider. Now our UI is looking perfect. Now let's do one more thing: decrease the size of these divider to 180 and make the main axis alignment for the row widget to main axis alignment dot space between, so that the space is going to be same for all the element. Now come here and here create a container and give it a height of 50 and width of 70% of the current screen. Then add the decoration. For decoration, let's give it the background color as white, and give border radius to 15, then for the border color let's make the border color to red, and then add the child. And for child add a row widget, then inside it row widget add the children property, and inside children, first add the icon widget, then also make it to red, and then add a text widget, and right here, continue with Google, then give the style to this text widget. And then make the main axis alignment to space around, but it's not looking good, so make it center, so it will look fine now. Now let's increase the font size and icon size, so that it will look beautiful. Now copy this container and replicate that same thing, and then give it the color equivalent to Facebook's button color, then here change the text from continue with Google to continue with Facebook. Then add the Facebook icon and make the icon color to white, so now this button is also looking fine. So this was it for the designing part of this login screen and splash screen. Now in the future video, we will integrate the Google Sign In option to our login screen. After that we will design a pitch-perfect responsive dashboard UI, so till then just hook up with this video series, and if you like the video then please do like, share and hit that subscribe button, so that whenever we will update a new video so that you will get notified.